You know how people say it's just a dog? Yeah, well, tell that to the judge who sentenced our HOA president to jail time. Because when Karen Stevens sprayed my federally protected service dog in the face with industrial-grade pesticide, she didn't just cross the line. She launched herself over it, wearing a robe of ignorance and entitlement. Let me rewind. My name's Jordan, a 28-year-old military veteran living in Ridge Hill Lakes, a gated community run by the most inflexible, power-drunk HOA in the state. After serving 8 years, I was medically retired with a back injury and diagnosed with PTSD. My service dog, Luna, a trained golden retriever, is more than just a companion. She's my lifeline. She's trained to recognize anxiety attacks, alert me when my breathing or heart rate changes, and even guide me away from overwhelming situations. She wears a red vest that clearly says, "Service dog, do not distract." And I carry federally issued paperwork everywhere I go. But none of that mattered to Karen. Now, Karen wasn't just your average nosy neighbor. She was president of the HOA, self-proclaimed guardian of neighborhood standards, and a certified menace to anyone she deemed unruly. Her yard was always spotless, her trash cans lined up with military precision, and her idea of kindness was emailing reminders in all caps about lawn length and flag display etiquette. I'd only lived in Ridge Hill Lakes for 4 months before she made it her mission to correct me. It started small, sticky notes on my door complaining that Luna wasn't allowed on common grass areas, despite the law that clearly permits service animals in any public or semi-public space. Then came the noise complaints, claiming Luna's collar jingling was disruptive to the peace. I tried talking to her civilly, explaining federal law, showing documentation. Karen didn't care. She sniffed at me like I was the one breaking the law. "She's still a dog," she sneered once. "And you people always think rules don't apply to you." That "you people" sat with me like a punch to the chest. I wanted to believe she meant service dog handlers, but deep down, I knew that wasn't all she meant. The day everything changed was a humid Tuesday afternoon. I was walking Luna through the community trail, well within my rights, when Karen stepped onto the path from her backyard, holding a large pump spray pesticide canister, the kind used for industrial weed control. She had that awful fake smile on her face, the kind that screams, "I'm about to ruin your day." "You're trespassing again," she said flatly. "This trail is maintained by the HOA, and animals aren't permitted." I calmly responded, "Luna is a service dog. We've been through this. Federal law supersedes HOA regulations." Karen's smile dropped. "Dogs don't belong here," she snapped. "And you're just using that service animal excuse to bend the rules like everyone else." I didn't yell. I didn't get angry. Began walking away, Luna at my side. That's when it happened. I heard the sound of a pressure pump. Then I heard Luna yelp. Before I could even react, she sprayed a cloud of pesticide directly at Luna's face. Luna staggered, wheezing, eyes tearing up, disoriented. "Are you crazy?" I shouted, running to shield Luna. The chemical smell burned my throat. My hands shook as I pulled out my phone and began filming. "I warned you!" Karen screamed. "This is weed killer. Your mutt shouldn't be on community grounds. You're lucky I didn't call animal control." My phone captured everything. Her yelling, the spray can in her hand, and Luna choking beside me. My blood boiled, but I stayed calm enough to get Luna to the emergency vet. She had chemical irritation in both eyes, respiratory distress, and needed to be kept overnight. I cried in the car like a child, not just because of the pain she was in, but because I felt completely helpless. Until I remembered, Luna is a federally protected service dog, and what Karen did was a crime. The next morning, I filed a police report and contacted the U.S. Department of Justice. I sent over the video, the vet records, and a statement. By the end of the week, things were already in motion. Karen, meanwhile, had zero clue what she'd unleashed. She doubled down by sending a letter to the HOA board stating that I had threatened her with violence and that Luna had attacked her flower bed. Her letter was so absurd, even her own allies on the board started backing away. But the hammer dropped fast. One afternoon, 3 federal officers and a local sheriff's deputy showed up at Karen's door. The neighborhood was eerily quiet as people peeked through curtains. She stepped out wearing pearls in denial. When they asked if she sprayed my service dog, she smiled and said, "Of course I did. That thing doesn't belong here." That's when they arrested her. Karen Stevens was officially charged with violating the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, and injuring a federally protected service animal. On top of that, she faced animal cruelty charges at the state level. She was booked, fingerprinted, held overnight, mugshot and all. You'd think that would be the end, but no. The story only got juicier. Her arrest became the talk of Ridge Hill Lakes. An anonymous neighbor leaked the footage to a local news blog, and the headline was brutal. HOA president sprays disabled veteran service dog, faces federal charges. The news went viral on Twitter and Facebook. Advocacy groups for disabled veterans picked up the story and ran with it. People showed up at HOA meetings with shirts that read, "Justice for Luna." I even got an invitation to speak on a podcast about disability rights awareness. Karen, meanwhile, was put on administrative leave from her job at a real estate firm. Apparently, they didn't like their top agent being associated with felony animal abuse. Her mugshot floated around social media, turned into memes. My favorite one? A photo of her spraying the pesticide with the caption, "HOA, harming others, always." She tried to lawyer up, claiming she feared for her safety and that Luna had lunged at her. But my footage and Luna's spotless behavioral record crushed that lie instantly. The vet's report sealed the deal. Her pesticide had caused chemical burns and triggered a panic response in a trained service animal. In court, Karen looked like a shadow of herself. No pearls, no sunglasses, just a wrinkled blazer and a look of righteous fear. She pled no contest to avoid a trial and was sentenced to 30 days in jail, 1 year of probation, $15,000 in fines, mandatory community service at an animal rescue center, and most satisfying of all, a court order banning her from holding any position on any HOA board for the next 10 years. Oh, and she was added to a federal watch list for service animal aggression cases. After sentencing, I got to read a victim impact statement. I stood in court, Luna beside me in her vest, and said, "To some, it's just a dog, but to me, she's a partner. She's helped me sleep without nightmares, leave my house without panic, and feel like a whole person again." Karen didn't just hurt an animal, she attacked my freedom. You could hear a pin drop. Today, Luna's back to full health, chasing tennis balls, napping under my desk, and still wearing her red vest with pride. I walk her proudly through every inch of Ridge Hill Lakes, and no one dares say a word. Karen eventually sold her house and moved out, claiming the neighborhood had turned against her. Maybe it had. Or maybe she finally realized that power built on entitlement eventually crumbles under the weight of truth. So the next time someone tells you, "It's just a dog," remember this. Ignorance of the law doesn't protect you from it, especially when the dog you sprayed is wearing a badge of federal protection.